Welcome back to the channel, guitar players. I'm going to change the nut on the HB-75. I've had no success trying to make this nut do anything good. So I have a pre-shaped bone nut. I really like bone. I haven't put a bone nut in for a long time, but I like the way they polish. And you can make them so polished and they last a long time. So that's what we're going to do. But before we get started, can't park there. Hey, thanks, man. Let's get this nut out and let's get going. Also, if I do keep this guitar, it's all depends on what it's like with this bone nut. Because I'd like to use the trem, but I just, man, you know me, I stretch the strings. I use that little locking knot on there. And it was so horrible for tuning. If this cures the tuning, which I'm hoping it does, I think it will, then I probably will hang on to this guitar. I really like it. And one guy just sent me a message and he's like, you should try the real deal, you know, and all these. I don't want the real deal. The real deal is way fat, way wide, way fat. And the frets are 36 thousandths. They're like baby frets. Nah. And it's got a 0 fret. No, no, no. I like this guitar better. I mean, I'm sure that guitar may be better and might have the Burns pickups, but I'm not trying to emulate Brian May. No. This isn't like some copycat thing for me. I think this is a cool guitar and it's different than this. And I mean, that's why, you know, I got it. Also, if the nut makes it like I hope it will, because I mean it plays really good up and down the neck. I will. I have a PRS single screw truss cover, and I'll just cut out the excess. I think that would look a lot better than this one with the 3 screws. I always thought that looked classy, the 1 screw. So let's get this nut out. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to loosen all the strings. I should get some kind of automatic winder. That would take all the joy out of it, lad. Manual labor. Now I'm going to loosen, okay, all the strings. The 2 E's, I'm not going to loosen them as much. I'm going to leave a little bit of tension on them. And I want to put this here. You don't want to ever have it like this, because that's putting more weight and it'll put a bow in the neck. You want your support to be more towards the body. So this is why I'm doing this. Before I start this, I want to make sure there's almost no relief in this neck at all, like I mentioned earlier. Yeah, that's pretty good. And I'm gonna get some tape. Excuse me. Oh, where is it? Hello, tape. Hello, computer. Here's the keypad. All right. This is a brand new roll. Wow. We'll just stick some tape here. Kind of keep her from getting all scratched up. This has that dual action truss rod. I don't like them. I don't like them. How often have you ever dealt with a neck that backbowed? Almost never. And when you adjust it, you never know how strong the neck is, because the truss rod's always doing something. Okay, now let's knock this nut off. I'll set the truss rod. The neck is pretty straight. I won't worry so much about the truss rod right now. I'll just give this a little tap. I don't know if it's glued. It must have some glue on it. We'll find out. Oh, there she goes. There she goes. Wow, I got a lot of graphite in there. Yeah, it's got some glue on there. Just get an idea what we're dealing with here. Man, the strings are dirty from all the graphite. Should probably wipe them off. Wow, look at that. That's a long way. Whew. Now, if I'm going to do that, I kind of would like to, part of me wants to sand the bottom of it, but it's really hard to keep it flush. You really need a good flat surface, but it's got to go down so much. That's an awful long way. I've got two, so if one gets messed up, I can use the other one. Hey, look, it's like playing a new Fender. Unfortunately, I don't have my belt circular sander combination, so I've got this and it's pretty flat. I'm going to start off with 220, and I have to be careful here to not make it crooked. Okay, I've got the nut about where I want it, but it's a little too wide. So I've got to narrow it down a little bit. So we'll get that done. Bone dust. I'm going to fill this up with the bone dust that I have here. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, no jokes now, no jokes. And I've got a piece of an old, I don't know, a Telecaster nut in here, what's left of it, to get bone dust off. So now I got quite a bit in there. All right, so now I'll get narrowing this nut. It's just like, take your time. And I'm going to go to a little finer sandpaper too. Maybe like, I'll try maybe a little bit of a 320 and then go up. Okay, here's where we're at. We have just a little bit to remove, you can see there. And here you see it's kind of flush. Ooh, bloodshed, always bloodshed. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna finish taking some more off of here. And then use some finer stuff, and then I can polish it when I'm done. We're getting there, it takes a while. Okay, now the sides, there's just a tiny bit. And I'm gonna go up to 400. Because you don't wanna I wanna have it kind of nice and polished when it's done. And it's really close. It's really close. So I'm gonna go up to 400 on the sides. I'm only just fitting the sides right now. All right, I've got this thing all shaped up, and I'm going to put a little dab of glue on it and glue it in. Then I can start cutting this nut and we'll see what happens. Well, it is in, and I'm going to switch to some 9s before I cut it. I got 8.5s, and I think I want to go with 9s. So I'm going to swap strings and then we'll start cutting this nut. Okay, so I got a set of 9s on here. I've stretched them. I got a capo on the 1st fret. So I'll press down on the 24th fret. Almost totally straight. I might make it even a little bit straighter. Okay, so I'm going to cut the nut. I'm going to cut them all to 13 because I want to finish them with some really fine sandpaper. I want them to be polished. So I'm going to get on this. I'm looking forward to getting this finished. Okay, that took about 18 minutes. Now I'm going to polish them. Let's see. And it might take a little while, but I don't care. I don't want to mess this up. I'm going to probably use some 1000. That should be fine. You know, I didn't always have nut files, and I never had any problems cutting nuts. I always used sandpaper. And you could roll sandpaper around and fold it. You could do a lot with sandpaper. Maybe I'll use 15. I got a whole bunch of 15 here. That's what I'll do. I'm going to use this 3M 15. And I'm going to do it to kind of a fat 11. So that was 13. So this shouldn't take much. It's so easy to go too far. I prefer not to do that. So here, we'll see how long this takes. Okay, I went up to 3,000. I used 1,500 and I used 3,000. That took about 16 minutes and 23 seconds. So now all I have to do is stretch the strings a little bit more, and then I can put some lubrication in the nut and see how it goes then. So we'll just stretch these a little bit more. Get the tuner. One thing I don't understand is plecked guitars. You stand the guitar up in that machine, goes over the frets. Sweetwater charges $2.99 to $4.79 or something. Like what? I purchased an Ibanez S from the original owner. He never knew how to play, and he bought this Ibanez S, you know, and it had a Floyd, and which is ridiculous. You don't buy a Floyd for your first guitar. So he never really played it. And on the receipt from Sweetwater, it was plecked. I didn't think it was anything great at all. I'd rather do it myself. My advice, take your guitar to a tech. You could talk to a tech. Can you talk to that machine? It's not like the machine can adjust the intonation. You need a human for that. Maybe it's for places that don't have a guitar setup guy. And any dojo can set the thing in there and push go. I don't know. I just know I wasn't impressed with the setup. And it's more than twice what a tech does. You know, you could tell me, cut the nut at 14 thousandths and make the action such and such at 12. Don't waste your money on nonsense like that. All right, I'm going to put some graphite in here, and hopefully it'll stay in tune now. I've got this nice polished nut in here now. We'll see how it goes. Oh, here. Here's a show you should watch in plain sight. It's awesome. About witness protection. My real name. Remember on My Name is Earl? On Darnell, he was in Witness Protection. The Crab Man. That was a funny show. Okay, I got the nut in. I got it all tuned up. I had to reset the intonation on the B string. That's it. Because I went to 9s from 8.5s. I probably have to stretch the strings a little bit more. This would put it way out of tune. All right, let's get a look at it here. Okay, over to this, and let's see what we got. Woo-hoo-hoo. Come on, D, what are you doing to me? Well, bone nut. Polished a little bit. What a difference. I think the strings need to stretch them a little bit more, but man, even just doing it any amount would make it go out of tune. So cool. So definitely a bonus. You got to change the nut. No matter what I did, this stupid thing, it just terrible. And I mean, it took some time. It took a couple hours to get this nut. It probably took 3 hours to shape it a bit more, to get it to fit in here. But time well spent, because you know, if I had my belt and my little disc sander, it would have been a little faster, because I had to do it all by hand. But I'm so glad. And there's more. I had to tighten the springs in the back a little bit because it started to float, and I didn't want it floating. So check this out. Oh, that's it. Smack the guitar, dummy. Gotta go like this. It goes against the body, so it only goes down. That's how I like it. Kind of like Eddie Van Halen without the talent. Huh. So definitely a success. So the next thing I'm going to do, this completely changes not completely, but this really makes me like this guitar. This was really the only thing that I didn't like. So now I'm going to, I don't know where I put it. I'm going to put the PRS truss rod cover on, and I'll just have the one screw, and it won't say deluxe on it. I just have to cut it down a little bit. So I'm excited. So here's the PRS nut. I'll leave the film on it, and I'm gonna stick a screw through it, and I'm just gonna score it with I'll line it up real good and I'll score it with the razor blade. Is it crooked? Is something crooked here? Hang on a second. Does that look crooked to you? It might be a bit, something's crooked. I think it's the Harley Benton one is crooked, I think. Well, I'm not sure exactly. Try to hold it as level as possible. Well, what I'll do is maybe make it a tiny bit bigger and I'll just sand it to make it fit perfect. This is awesome. Wow, this nut made all the difference. I don't think there's anything else I want to change. I'm changing pickups. That whole, if you got to change pickups on your guitar, maybe you bought the wrong guitar. And you know what? This sounds really harsh and terrible, but people change pickups and they act like they can tell the difference. I don't think most people can tell the difference between, people can't tell the difference between a classic vibe and a player. 429 versus 850 to 1200. I don't think anybody can tell the difference in the sound. Do you think you can tell the difference? I can't. Things are different than they used to be, man. When I was a kid, crappy, cheap guitars sounded terrible. Now it's like even crappier guitars, you put them through a good amp, they sound good. Okay, let me get this thing cut. Okay, I think I got it. I'm going to take off the plastic. Okay. Sticker in here. Take one of the old screws. It's kind of filthy. Give you a look at it. Okay, it's kind of dirty, but the headstock. But I like that. 2 less screws. All right. Well, that about wraps this guitar up. That was the biggest flaw, was this old nut, the nut that was on it. Now it's got this nice polished bone nut, stays in tune. And I got my little PRS 1-screw truss rod cover. Yeah, this guitar, I really dig this guitar. I really like it. It's really cool. I like the sound it makes. It's just a really nice guitar. So anyway, I hope you like this video. If you want to give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe, I was so thankful I got quite a few thumbs up on one of my other Harley Benton videos. I really appreciate that. Anyway, take care. Have a great day, everybody. Take care.